Hey everybody, it's another episode of River and Todd's flashback. Whatever. What are we calling these? Flashback, not Fridays. Flashback retro Tuesdays / Thursday. And by the way, I know this thing says Tuesdays every week live. That's not the case for last week and this week. So if something comes up, we default to Thursdays. So, but typically it's Tuesdays, Central Time, 8 p.m. that we stream these live.
I'm gonna set a goal for this week. We're gonna come up with a name for this thing.
Oh yeah,
because we've been talking about this for like what months now. So let's settle on something.
Well, how about you name it?
I'll think of something this week.
You can name it.
How about I come up with 3 and then the listeners can vote?
Okay, no, that's fine. That's all right. Indecisive. No, that's cool. So we'll give it a name, as Jerry Cantrell said. What's up, Silhouette? On YouTube today. Oh yeah, you switched it up. That's our buddy Plimp.
Hey, Silhouette.
No, awesome, man. So if you guys are if you guys are out Retromania, I don't know if Retromania is encompassing enough, because we'll talk about retro stuff, we'll talk about history stuff, but I don't know. It's not too bad. We'll have to narrow it down. I'm going to let Todd do it though. I'm going to let Todd come up with 3 names. I'm going to stay out of it, and he's going to present those 3 names to me and then you guys next week. Next week we'll give it to you guys, and whoever's in the chat, we will officially decide on a name, and it'll be you guys, whoever listens next week.
Throw your ideas in the comments too. I mean, the more the merrier. And I'll come up with the best 3.
But we're not going to keep track of these comments, so you're going to have to like either post them on an old video or put them in the Discord, which we have as well.
Yes.
Somewhere we can keep track of it. But anyway,
shoot me a message on social media or something.
Anyway, so it's another week. Last week, what did we put out last week? Last week we talked about what? I already forgot.
God, this is bad.
So I gotta tell you, I've been sick for a couple of weeks. I'm still getting over it, and it's giving me serious brain fog.
We talked about conventions.
Yeah, I thought I had the Rona again, man. But I'm convinced. For a week it was real bad. Like I was in bed and I just couldn't breathe and I was dying. It wasn't quite as bad as Rona or whatever, but and then the last week I'm wondering if I have pneumonia.
You might,
because I am just hacking up gross stuff. Like that stuff's not going away at all, and it's making my life miserable. But and then my neighbor, I was talking to her and she says, "Oh, I've been dealing with pneumonia for 3 months straight." I'm like, "Oh, maybe I got," and she was, I don't know. She was saying stuff that she's been hacking up was not of this life either, dude. So I'm like, oh, maybe that's what I got, because it's gross, dude.
Maybe you should compare hacks, dude.
Because it's gross.
Is it this color?
The stuff that I'm hacking up and blowing out, dude, it looks alien. I don't even know what to say.
Yeah, that's what it was when the first time I got Corona. Dude, it was like black and it was weird colors.
I literally shot a slug out of my nose.
Yeah.
Like it was like, oh, I wanted to vomit. As soon as I saw this thing, I shot out of my nose. I was like, I wanted to like follow it up with a big old Ralph on top of it, dude. Because it was like, God, is that what's inside me?
And now, did you do the farmer blow in front of your girl?
No.
You guys aren't that close yet.
Well, I mean, she'd be okay with it. I mean,
she would.
I try not to. Well, I mean, she might say something about it, but like, she's not going to pack up. But I have more decency than that.
Something.
No, I'm not going to do that and stuff in front of people. I try and hide it, but it just gets to a point where I'm just constantly hacking up, and I can't avoid it. Like I should probably hold myself in a different room. No one can sleep. But anyway, yeah. So last week we talked about quite a lot of stuff. Actually, we talked about the convention circuit. We started off talking about Batman for some reason, and then we ended up talking about not mortality, but yeah, kind of mortality. Just
a little bit.
It kind of stemmed from the convention circuit and how everybody ends up forgetting everything, and nothing is infinite. And I think ever since then, that stuff's been on my mind. And I didn't record Tuesday because I've been real depressed, and I just had one of my days, and that stuff happens. And it's just best for me to shut down a little bit and feel sorry for myself and ride it out. But I've been feeling a heavy dose of mortality lately, and I think I'm going through a midlife crisis, baby. I don't know what else it is, because I'm thinking about death. I'm thinking about finality. I'm thinking about what does it all mean, Basil? And I don't know. I'm just thinking about all this stuff. I'm thinking about how fast the first part of my life is gone, which of course makes me dwell on how fast the last part will go, but hopefully it'll go as long as possible.
Just wait till you have kids. You'll be praying for death. I'm just kidding.
So it was funny because Todd was talking about this stuff and he was saying, oh, well, that's just why you got to have kids, man. Give yourself a reason to live. I'm like, well, I get what you're saying, but also I'm like, you shouldn't just have kids as a band-aid to like, if you got to fix certain parts of your life, but no, but anyway,
you're never gonna be fixed. And the thing about kids is it doesn't give you time to think like that. Like, you don't have time.
That's what I was thinking you meant is I think kids is more of a distraction.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have time. I'd be so concerned with living through them and doing all that stuff.
You don't have time to take a dump by yourself, much less think about
that. that I wouldn't realize that I'm turning, this milestone or this, or I have conversations. And but I don't know, man. I don't know if that answer as a band-aid is the way it works. I mean, I want kids. It's not about that, but I don't want kids as just a band-aid. But no, I know what you're saying. I don't know.
Well, it's not like I'm just out having kids. I mean, I've been married for 13
years. I know what you're saying, but it was so funny because he's like saying, oh yeah, you just got to do it, but then he's like, okay, he's selling me, and then he's like, oh, and then soon it's going to be where the best days of your life are where you get 5 minutes alone in a room and you're ordering shitty Blu-rays online. I'm like, oh, like
guilty.
That's what you're saying. Like, yeah. Oh, I was like, are you selling me or not? I'm confused. Like,
no. It's yeah. I mean, the good outweighs the bad. Let's just say that. So
yeah,
it's fantastic, but it's funny.
No, I know, but anyway, so I just been dealing with stuff like that, and it's not really just that. It's little things that act as a catalyst that kind of set it off, that trigger me and trigger a whole bunch of domino effect stuff. And I get really upset about the political climate. I do let it bother me. I get upset about the economy. I get upset about my job. I get upset about how it all plays into finances. I get stressed that I am kind of the breadwinner of a house now, and it's like it gets a little stressful. And sometimes I just feel like I'm getting stretched thin, and then sometimes I break a little bit. Sometimes I feel like I'm just hanging by a thread, and sometimes that thread is almost broke. And before it breaks, I have to lay down for a day or two or whatever.
So my mom used to have like deep depressions when she was around, and she
had kids. What does that tell you? I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
Yeah. And what she would do was we were kind of latchkey kids, my brother and I. We were like 10, 7. She would just go to a hotel for a weekend. She'd just get out and go to a hotel and leave us home alone for the whole weekend, and then come back like on a Sunday afternoon. And she was a completely different person.
I mean, yeah, that's great too. And I wish I could do that.
Just take some time for yourself.
Yeah, well, anyway, I feel like talking about this stuff is making our audience deplete. So, but anyway,
life,
so that
baby.
Yeah, that's not what we're going to focus on, though. I wanted to talk about something a little bit more uplifting and just kind of positive and loosey-goosey. So we'll get into basically the greatest show of all time here in a bit. And I know a couple weeks ago, we had done the Nightmare on Elm Street tier list. I don't want to do those too close to each other. I know we're supposed to do Friday. Maybe we'll do that next week. I don't know. I don't want to do too much of that stuff back to back. And
I think we shoot till April for Friday because I want to get like Josh James on. I want to get Zach on. Well, I want to know they're on. What?
Zach is very consistent. He'll do it. I know he will. Josh, we have to plan it out with a little bit more. So maybe we'll message him. The Pauly Shore Show equals GOAT. What about the Pauly? You mean Totally Pauly? What are we talking about? I don't know. But anywho, so do you have anything that you want to talk about? Anything you've gotten? You said you had one thing.
Yeah, I actually got it from Amazon like 10 minutes ago. I didn't really get anything lately. It's just been too hectic with work and everything. But I did pick this up. I was listening to I don't know what podcast it was, but I always listen to podcasts or I jump on live streams. People talk about shit. And I've been wanting to watch this movie, and you've been championing it for for a while, and I'm like, I finally need to pick this up and watch it. So
You never seen it? Whatever
never
it is?
seen it, but I hear it's awesome. So some people say it's like some of the best movie that's come out in the past like 5 years, 10 years, or whatever. So, and that is this is on sale on Amazon. Sicario.
Oh yeah, it's great. How much did you get it for?
It's like $12. Does this still have a? Oh my gosh, dude!
You didn't
This
get the
isn't
slip?
new. Look at this. This isn't even packaged. This isn't even shrink wrap, dude. I just opened this.
Did you get it from Amazon new though?
Yeah.
Tell them to replace that.
Oh, what's the sticker on here, dude?
Yeah, that's something.
That's ghetto, dude.
Get a new one. I would just get a new one. At least get a new one underway en route.
Well, if really somebody wants the free code, go for it. But yeah, okay. I'll send this one back to Amazon. Has that ever happened to you, dude?
No, I've never gotten it.
It's crazy. Like I just opened that. But yeah.
Yeah, get it replaced. But Sicario's great. It's fantastic. I like all of Denny's movies.
But yeah, that was the only thing. I don't know. I wanted to watch that this weekend.
I thought you I wasn't predicting it was going to be Sicario. I thought you were going to open a copy of The Wailing, because I think you should watch The Wailing.
Okay.
Which is streaming. You should watch The Wailing. And then if you like it, it's very cheap right now. But it's fantastic. No, I didn't get anything. It might be a different story next week. I might have some stuff to show. But I do want to say, of the things that I mentioned in the last episode or two, I've been watching and listening to that stuff. I have to tell you, I have to shout out the Terminator soundtrack, because that thing is awesome. And, and I don't know what it is about it. I can listen to some, because I was listening to my TMNT soundtracks too. I can listen to the TMNT 90 soundtrack and the movie is playing in my head. Every little line of dialogue, I'm like reading in my head as I hear the music and every stuff. That's kind of fun. The Terminator, though, I don't know what it is about Terminator, but I feel like there's so much of that soundtrack I don't actually remember being in the movie. So, or it's just buried. So I don't know what it is. Maybe I just don't know the movie as much as I thought I did, but the soundtrack itself is awesome. I don't know. I would need to listen to it side by side with the T2 score, but I think the T1 might have it, because it's just got you got the Terminator theme that's reprising itself in many different ways throughout the score, but it's like filtered through this real greasy Orion, almost canon like soundtrack, where it's just real 80s synthy. I don't know, man. It's awesome. And I was having a great time, because I listen to some soundtracks that they're almost like a novelty. Like, okay, yeah, it's not as good as with a movie. Like, it needs the film accompaniment with it. Dude, Terminator was fucking awesome. I loved it.
Yeah, that's like I was saying last time, that's one soundtrack I do want to eventually pick up, because that and T2 are both fantastic.
Yeah, I'd be interested to hear them both side by side, but I don't know. I was blown away at how good T1 was, and I'm like, man, I don't know. It's like I remember a few of these songs, obviously, in the flick, but I don't remember all this stuff, and it's just another world. And just like the movies are separate from each other and how they differ. The soundtrack, it just feels so 80s and so greasy and so. I just love it. I think it's fantastic. So I'm kind of on a high on that. I'm probably gonna listen to it again tonight. Like I said, I listen to all my TMNT soundtracks, which are fantastic. And I don't know, I've just been going through a lot of my vinyl. I kind of developed a bit of a backlog since Christmas, and I kind of slowed down on listening to some of that stuff. So I've just been going hard on that stuff for a week, and really been enjoying myself. I got to listen to the Resident Evil soundtracks I picked up. I'm sure those are going to be shit. Those ones will be like, not very good, I bet.
Slog, dude, but getting through those.
Yeah, I'm counting down the days, man, till April, when the Van Halen, Van Hagar starts releasing their catalog. Man, I'm 3,000. Yeah, I'm not gonna jump on the record store day thing, because I think it's just a color variant. Because I think that bonus disc with the 3 extra tracks, I think that's gonna be on all of them. I don't think that's exclusive to record store day. But yeah, so this release, it's got the 2 songs that were on the live DVD or the VHS that weren't on the album, right? You have Dream Is Over, and you have Eagles Fly, the Sammy Hagar song.
Yeah.
And then I think Mine All Mine, I think they put on there like just from another night of the show. So it's got 3 bonus tracks. So I'm stoked for that. But yeah, I mean, that's it. What have I been watching lately? I've been trying to watch some new stuff. I mean, I was kind of out of a movie mode for a minute there, but then the last few nights I've been kind of getting into stuff again. What did I watch? I watched Phantom of the Mall with Joe Bob.
Oh, that's a fun movie.
It is. You know what? I was expecting it to be a lot worse. I mean, it's still probably like a 5 out of 10, but it wasn't bad. It wasn't great.
It's Phantom of the Opera. It's great.
Phantom of the Mall. And it was, but any slashers, most slashers are terrible, and I'm usually expecting them to be pretty awful. But it was fun. Pauly Shore was fun. He was in it quite a bit. He wasn't full blown weasel or anything like that, but it was cool. I enjoyed it. It's got the most interesting man in the world, right, from the Dos Equis campaign. He's the manager of the whole mall. And last night I watched Rain Man for the first time. You ever seen that?
That's a great movie. Yeah.
I had never, when you grow up with these movies that are like best picture Oscar winning movies that become parodies so much, I don't know what it is. It's like,
I understand what you're saying.
It's just like Forrest Gump, like a few years later. I mean, except I saw Forrest Gump when it first came out, but it'd be the equivalent if I had never seen Forrest Gump today. Like, it's like, okay, finally I'll just watch Forrest Gump. But I watched it and it was good. It was at least a 7 out of 10. It was very dated. Obviously, I imagine back in 1988 when that came out, it was very topical because in this movie they act like nobody acts like they knows what autism is. Like it's this brand new thing. Obviously now, like if you look at Dustin Hoffman and that, you're like, yeah, that guy's autistic as fuck. But so it feels dated, and I'm sure the way they handle the autism and some of the stuff they say in the movie is very dated, and it's probably not the way it would be treated today. They really are treating him like he's some kind of weird mutant, and he needs like but it's good. Tom Cruise, of course, plays a very unlikable asshole like he always does. I guess he kind of becomes somewhat likable at the end. I don't know if he sells me because I feel like the ending is almost kind of abrupt. I don't know. Like, I feel like, is there not more to this? But
I don't know. I always love that. I haven't watched it recently, but I always love Tom Cruise in there, and anything with Dustin Hoffman's fantastic.
Dustin Hoffman was really, really good in it. He did a great job, and that whole scene in the elevator with Tom Cruise's fiance dancing with him and then kissing him. I thought she was gonna like fuck him.
Yeah.
Like because she's like, have you ever kissed a girl? She's being all seductive, and I thought she was gonna be like, have you ever had your cock in another girl's mouth? I thought I was gonna get fucking weird. And obviously it's more of a charitable thing. Like she was just thinking about him, but I don't know. How would you feel? How would you feel if like your fiance or wife to be or whatever you want to call it did that with your special needs brother? I get it. Would be... Okay, the dancing
it's creepy.
Is one thing.
It's creepy, dude.
The dancing is one thing. That's fine. But then like the weird, because Dustin Hoffman came in his pants. Probably. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure.
It's one thing to do that as charity and kind of be nice to him, but she was like talking kind of sexy, like she was into it, like it was almost like a personal kink. It was a little weird. It was very awkward seeing her.
Yeah, it is very, very awkward. I agree with you on that.
Anyway, have you watched anything lately?
Yeah. So, okay, a couple nights ago I got this while back because it was like $7. Silent Scream. It's like kind of a slasher movie, but it's just kind of an oddball movie. Weird. I didn't know what to think about it. I think I gave it like a 5 out of 10. But yeah, it was the score in the movie is just so weird because it's like goes from happy to suspenseful to the score really killed it for me. Isn't that weird how a score can kill a movie for you?
Yeah, or it could totally make it.
Yeah,
I've seen some pretty bad movies that the score helped elevate it and keep it exciting, more exciting than it was.
Yeah, but I watched that. I rewatched The Brood, which I haven't seen. That movie is awesome, dude. I forgot how good that was.
I have it. I still never watched it.
Yeah, if you like Cronenberg, it's early Cronenberg, so it's not as crazy, but I don't know. I love the ending, the payoff at the end. It was kind of cool. I rewatched Scream 2 with the wife, and it's not terrible. I think it's like a 6,
good.
7 out of 10. It's not bad.
No,
Um,
I think it's a 7.
yeah, I think I gave it a 7 on my letterbox. And then
The original is probably 8. That's probably the highest.
well, I watched Scream 6, which I wasn't on the show with you guys.
Yeah, Pussy backed out. We had a good talk about that. It was fun.
Has that been released yet? Do you want my
No,
thoughts on
it's
it?
not out yet. So yeah, he's kind of giving us an early promo here, but we did a cinema anima for Scream 6. So I don't want to talk too much about. I mean, you could talk about it a little bit, but I'm not going to talk too much about it because we got that episode dropping. So
And I don't really even do I know your take on this? No, I don't think we've talked about it since. I was not a fan. I was pretty underwhelmed, and Jenna Ortega was horrible, I thought, in the movie, which I never thought she was bad in X. I thought she's okay. But I still don't like the characters, man. That movie was just a mess to me. And there are some cool kills, but I wasn't really
it,
having it. And I like the
yeah,
last Scream. I like Scream 5. I gave that like a 7 out of 10. So
I'm gonna refrain from talking about it too much because I don't want to spoil the episode. But I think Todd's being a little bit curmudgeon in his old age. He's being a little hard on stuff, but I think I think it did the job. Like it did what it was supposed to do. I'm like, what? I've never liked the characters in Scream movies, except for the first movie. I've never liked the characters. Like all the supporting cast in the second, the third movie, the fourth, dude, they're trash. So that doesn't bother me. And it was so funny. I think it's more of the same. I think it's fine. It scratches the same itch as the fifth one. It's different enough. I could have used more Pinhead with a shotgun on the streets. I just would have.
the dialogue was so awful. And the fact that it was supposed to be shot in New York City, which it wasn't shot in New York City. I mean, they had like 2 different shots in New York City, and then the rest was filmed in Canada, Montreal or whatever.
Yeah,
It's
I mean
like
that's the way it
it's not
goes.
like Jason Takes Manhattan or whatever, which is I mean,
Vancouver. That's filmed in Vancouver though.
Jason Takes Manhattan, not some
Jason
of the
Takes
scenes.
Manhattan is filmed in Vancouver entirely. What are you talking about?
Oh,
You're like
I thought this when they actually went down the when
they
they
might
went
have stole a single shot. Yeah, like a single shot, like on like 52nd Street or whatever you're talking about.
yeah, and
Or
the subway was not shot in the
I don't
States.
know. I think maybe they stole a single shot, but most of that movie's in Vancouver.
Oh, it is in Vancouver. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was a Scream movie was.
No, I don't know about the Scream movie, but I don't know. People are complaining that it doesn't even feel like New York. They feel you get there's a subway sequence. There's Skyliners. There's Gale Weathers giant fucking apartment suites or whatever. To me, there's enough New York in there. I mean, there's enough. I'm okay with it. Like they don't have to be duking it out on top of a skyscraper like Shredder and the Splinter and TMNT 90, which would be cool. And
Well, I think
Ghostface
that'd be
gets knocked off a
awesome.
building and falls into a trash compactor, and Casey Jones goes whoops and just kills him.
But
That'd be
have
great.
it to be New York City and be so bland like that. It's just, I mean, I watch stuff that's, shot in New York City or based in New York
Yeah,
City or, LA, that sort of thing. That's a selling
people
point to me. But
people were ragging on Jenna Ortega because I guess the first time people were being forgiving, but it's been twice now that in interviews for Scream 6, she said it twice now that yeah, it's the first time Scream's left Woodsboro. But no, it's like half the fucking series is not Woodsboro.
nobody cares
So
about Woodsboro.
I know, but it makes her look like the Scream stands are coming after her. Like you don't know what you're
Yeah.
talking about because yeah, they're talking about new city, new rules. No, it's like you got Woodsboro in the first one, then they go to college in Ohio somewhere, and then the third one's in L.A., and then the fourth one, right, L.A. because they're making the
Yes,
stab
yes,
movie,
yes,
and the
yes.
fourth one is back in Woodsboro, and the fifth one's in Woodsboro, and this one's in New York. So you literally have half in Woodsboro and half in other places. So it just makes her look stupid. But that's horror fans for you. They're just going to attack everybody. Hey, thank you so much for joining us, James Long. That's the artist formerly known as Oliver Closeoff. He's choosing to
Hey,
grow up
James.
and go by his real name. I'm gonna stay young forever, like Michael Jackson. But that you, James, thanks so much. And Cruz almost got raped. What? Oh no, you mean Dustin Hoffman? Okay. Anyway, Blocko's in the chat. What's up, dude? Yeah, talking about Cruz's fiance and Rain Man. She was a bad girl. And then Silhouette, thank you so much for that donation. That's a good question. He says, did you guys see the dude that threw a tantrum at Bruce Campbell at the Evil Dead Rise premiere?
Yes.
We did. And you know what? I don't it's funny, but I'm still gonna see the movie and like have my reservations about it. Like,
I think,
because
yeah, it was
you
pretty
never
funny.
it was funny. You just never know. I mean, because it's getting a lot of early people online talking about how good it is, but that's how people are with the 13 remake, and then people forget about it, or some people love that 13 remake. I just don't know who to trust. So I'll just have to see it for myself. I still think it looks like a random generic script that they threw Evil Dead onto, and probably threw a
N-
Necronomicon in there just to make it make
Deadites
sense.
look awful, in my opinion, but
I don't like the. I just.
I hear it's gory though, so that'll be
I'm
a
hoping.
plus.
I'm hoping maybe that it's one of these scenarios where the movie itself is better than what the trailer's representing, because it's totally possible that the studios are like, hey, let's do a trailer that's going to speak to the modern crowd, and they made a shitty trailer that looks like a James Wan movie.
It
I'm
does look,
hoping
yeah.
I'm hoping maybe there's more to it than that, but I'll kind of have reservations and I'll see it for myself. But that whole thing where that guy said that, I wish I could have heard what the security woman was saying to him, because that's when he was being loud. She was saying something, and he was saying something, and then they were like, "What?" And he's like, "Well, the movie fucking sucks." And then,
well,
what was he saying?
there's some people that are thinking that was the whole thing was staged just to get some publicity out there for the
But
thing.
why would they stage it sucks? Why would they stage
Because they'll
that?
get people talking about it, but everybody else thought it was great. So I mean, good outweighs the
Yeah.
bad.
I don't know. Like, yeah, what kind of, that guy had a pretty primo seat too.
Oh
Just
God, I
like
know. It's
just
like
right
John
there.
Wilkes Booth, dude. Abraham
Well, he
Lincoln,
was
right
like
up there.
he was kicking his legs up on his phone, dude. Like, what was he? Maybe that's why she was coming after him. Like, what are you on your phone for?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Even though
Or
somebody else was
he
filming.
might have been filming it or something, because you're probably not supposed to film those. I don't know. Maybe you are.
I thought it was funny how Bruce Campbell was like, "You say that after sitting through the credits?" I'm like, "Yeah, just because he thought it sucks doesn't mean he doesn't want to sit for the Q&A."
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that to me, that was like not a very good comeback. Everybody's like, "Oh
No.
man, proof Bruce Campbell is the man." All he didn't really, his comebacks weren't anything. Get the fuck out of here. It wasn't anything. I mean, like, that's not really a gotcha, bro. When it's like, well, yeah, says the guy who stayed through the whole credits. Yeah, it's a Q&A. If I watch something, maybe I was a huge fan of the franchise, and you guys shit the bed so bad with a new one, if I watch the whole damn movie, I'll sit through 5 minutes of credits so I can hear what you guys have to say on stage.
Oh yeah, and
You know,
take Q&A afterwards. Absolutely.
yeah, like, of course he's gonna stick around. It's so stupid. But anyway, I still, you know what, maybe I'll watch it tonight. Like I said, I acquired the Evil Dead 2013 remake on 4K somewhat recently, so, and I keep saying I'll rewatch that, and maybe I'll do that tonight. But
I keep putting
I'm
it off.
always happy to try and go back to it. I've watched it about 3 or 4 times actually, through podcasts, and I watched it a couple times in theaters actually, and I watched it when it came out. I watched it on a podcast. It doesn't really get better, but it has been at least 6 years since I've seen it, so I'll check it out again on glorious 4K, and we'll see what's up. And I think it was funny talking. I've seen interviews with Sam Raimi and stuff, and they're asking, like, they don't really know, like, so is Evil Dead 2013, is it a remake or is it a sequel? And no one has a real opinion on it. They're like, well, Fetty would say it's a remake. Like, I don't think it's a remake. I think it's a sequel, even though you have continuity errors with the Oldsmobile and shit like that. And like, I'm like, so what is it? He's like, he still would like to combine everything and bring the Jane Levy and Bruce Campbell and stuff like that. And then we're starting up all this hype news shit again, where they're trying to sell a new movie and they're doing the same old thing about like teasing you that Ash could come back again. They're doing that again because Sam Raimi is saying again, like, oh yeah, I would love Ash to come back for one last movie.
He's not coming back.
And then Bruce said again, like he said, there's only one condition that I would come back, and that's if Sam directs it. It's like, well, Sam would love for Bruce to come back.
He's not
Bruce
going to
won't
direct
come back if Sam will direct it, but Sam has no interest in directing it. I'm like, well, then you guys are just fucking spinning the wheels to get press. And I don't know why Sam doesn't want to direct it, because he said in the same interview, I am looking for another horror movie, though. I'm looking for scripts. And I'm like, well, just fucking write an Evil Dead script.
I think he's lost it, honestly. I think if Sam Raimi put out a horror flick, it would be shit, my opinion.
Well, don't
that ship has sailed, man.
Don't do straight up horror. Do Army of Darkness 2, like they were.
Yeah,
going
you could
to
do something like that.
Like 10 years ago, when that was the idea, to do Army 2 after Evil Dead was a hit.
And that's the good thing about Evil Dead, like how charming it was. It's because it wasn't like the big wigs, Hollywood big wigs, and all that crap. It was just some kids, out making a horror flick. And now I wouldn't trust them to make a good horror movie.
Anyway, but I would still see Army of Darkness too. I don't care. I mean, Ash vs. Evil Dead was great. I have no and Sam
Yeah, that
directed.
was good.
Sam did a few episodes of that.
Yeah, a
I don't have
couple,
any.
yeah.
I think they could do a totally serviceable movie if they would just do it, but they need to stop hyping people up with these stupid clickbait articles when they're just trying to sell a fucking shitty remake or whatever it is, and they're either shit or get off the pot.
I hear it's the goriest of the Evil Dead franchise. Of course, they're gonna say that though, right?
Yeah, we'll see. And then Blocko just watched American Werewolf in London for the first time. A+ for sure.
That's a great movie.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Great effects. James says, speaking of Riverman, I watched Return of the Living Dead 3. And it wasn't as good as I remembered it. Still a good time though. Yeah, I would subscribe to that. I think maybe I just liked stuff better when I was a kid. Because that's not a movie I ever owned or rented when I was a kid. I would watch that on late night movie channels or Cinemax and stuff. And that stuff is really taboo. I'd have to watch that in secret in the basement or whatever while everybody was sleeping, and I'd catch it when I could catch it. And so, I might have watched it 1 or 2 times when I was a kid, and it really stuck with me. And then you come back and you watch it as an adult. I'm like, yeah, it definitely shows its B moviness a little more as an adult.
Yeah, and it's very 90s, which that's one reason I love it.
I love it. I love the Cholo gangsters.
Cholos are great, man.
I love them playing a Street Fighter 2 arcade in the gas station back when you could play arcades in a gas station. You get to level 7. They say. I love it.
No,
and I love
awesome.
that though. I love the Cholo when his spine comes up and he's just on and those eyes. Dude.
The effects are awesome in it, man.
Yeah, the effects are really great. I like Bootleg Eddie Furlong in the lead.
I like that creepy looking old zombie in the beginning. Really old dude, man. That guy used to scare the shit out of me when I was a kid.
But now when I watch it, I realize, how budget it is because there's not that many zombies or anything really. It's just really all about the girl slowly transitioning and her taking out a few people and turning people like the Cholos over time and Riverman and stuff like that. It's more contained than I remember it being, but it's a fun time. I'm happy to own it.
Absolutely.
And then what else we got here? Did you guys like the original Army of Darkness ending? Which one's the original again at this point? I don't fucking remember. There's the S-Mart, there's the Apocalypse, the future wakes up in the future. There's the I like the.
What's that?
Which one do you like?
God, I do remember. Do I remember Waking Up in the Future? I do remember S-Mart. That's the one I always grew up on.
The Waking Up in the Future is not the official. That's kind of where they redid it with Ash vs. Evil Dead, where they were going to go with a new season of that, or he wakes up in the future, and I'm like, oh, it's so cool, because I always thought that'd be a really great movie. But I think just cinematically, the S-Mart ending's great. I love it. It's just, it's fantastic. And no, James, I didn't watch The Last of Us because I keep saying maybe eventually I'll play the games, and it's like I feel like if I watch the show, it'll ruin the games, and vice versa. So I'm not really in a rush.
I'm gonna jump on it actually now that the series is over for the first season. So I will watch it. I will report back with spoilers, Aaron. Just kidding.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really care.
I hear it's great though, man. I hear it's awesome.
Isn't it funny how aren't people sick of this fucking end of the world zombie stuff? And then why does it keep coming back? Because that's what this is. It's about a spore, a fucking thing that takes out the population and turns people into zombies. We've done this already. Isn't it funny how it gets tired and then it comes back again? So
it's always relevant.
All I know is you got Nick Offerman making out with a dude. You know,
I don't know who that is.
I don't know, but whatever. I know if I watch the show, I'll never play the games because the games are very cinematic experiences, and it's like it's just one of those kind of games. So I need to pick or choose one or the other. So, but who knows? I haven't played it now. Maybe I'll never play it. But anyway, so let's go ahead and seg into what we're going to talk about for the rest of the show, and that is the greatest show of all time. This idea came up because Todd actually sent me a link to the Blu-ray box set, which I didn't buy because, by the way, I'm trying to get rid of stuff. I spent my day gathering up everything I own and just making piles of stuff I'm going to sell, and just get rid of. And I got to pay the tax man, dude. Taxes hit me fucking hard this year. Like
Mhm.
really fucking hard. Thanks, Biden. Thank you. Got to pay for that Ukraine war
That's right.
by selling off some fucking shit.
Bail out those
So
banks too while you're at it.
fucking bullshit, dude. I'm so pissed at this. I'm so pissed off at the country. I'm so pissed at my country. I really am. I've become this like fuck the man, eat the rich guy slowly but surely in the last 5 years.
Yeah, it's not going well. Let's just say that.
And I think the next couple years are gonna be rough. And so I'm selling some shit now, and we'll see if I have anything left to sell next year. But I'm going through and selling a bunch of toys. Um, I'm trying to go through and sell the stuff that I don't like, that I don't have on display or I don't have any desire to display. I'm trying to go through all that stuff. And the one that's going to hurt the most is I think I'm going to sell off my retro game collection because that stuff I really
I
don't get any
would.
enjoyment. I
Yeah.
mean, I just don't get any enjoyment out of it. It's just in a closet. It's taking up space.
I
It's
sold
taking
all
up
mine
shelf
off
space.
too. Yeah.
And it's just most of that stuff I can play in other ways. Like I have like get a Raspberry Pi. I've got the NES Mini, Sega Mini. I've got all these ways to play those old games. So some of it will be kind of hard to emulate. So it's tempting to keep a couple of things. But yeah, that one's gonna be the hardest though. And as soon as I start selling those, it'll be like, well, fuck it. None of it matters anymore. To sell all of it. As soon as I
No. Don't do that. I sold off a ton of my stuff, and I regret a few things that I sold off.
like what? What do you regret?
Just some of the
This is a
movies.
fun topic, by the way, too. Yeah. Well, movies. I'm not going to movies yet, even though I have some extra stuff, some like dupes and stuff. And honestly, I get so many Blu-rays that just they don't get love because they're just in closets, man. Because I just have no space. It'd be tempting to just say, fuck it, get rid of all that shit. But I don't know. What do you regret? What are a couple of titles that you still don't have?
Well, a lot of these out of print stuff, man. When I sold it off, it wasn't going for this much now. A lot of these out of print titles. So that's the majority of the stuff. Like I kept all my Dawn of the Dead stuff because I'll never part with any of it. But a lot of the other stuff, mostly movies, like I could have made so much bank off even VHS. I mean, I could have made a bank off of a lot of the rare stuff I had. So
I could kick myself for letting Goat talk me out of selling my Turbo Man and Talk Boy a couple years ago when I could have got primo dollar for it. Now it's like Funko literally put out reproductions of the Turbo Man.
Yep.
And so it just dropped the price hardcore. I could have got almost $1,000 for that Turbo Man. Now I might be lucky to get 200.
Mm-hmm.
And so the Talk Boy is probably down as well, but whatever. I'm just gonna fucking sell it. I don't give a shit. I need that cheese, man. I'm trying to make a movie.
You need to send me some photos of the stuff you're selling because I might buy some of it.
Yeah, you want an Urkel doll? You want a Kevin McAllister doll? You want a fucking?
Yes. What do you want for those?
Oh, I don't know. I'd have to look. I've got, dude, my kitchen table looks like the fucking 80s exploded in pull string doll form right now. I got Urkel, I got Pee Wee on Cherry, I got fucking Ernest, which Josh James gave me Ernest. I'm not gonna sell that, but it's so funny. It's creepy, dude. The Kevin McAllister doll's creepy.
I might take either that one or the Urkel. So
the Urkel is the coolest. I think the Urkel's rad, dude. I just the Urkel's really, really cool.
The Urkel's the one we were talking about toy stores, like liquidation stores last week. And I always saw the Urkel doll there, but I never can afford it. Yeah. Even at that place.
It is really cool. I have some like NECA stuff. I was gonna, some stuff I was gonna sell a couple years ago, and I pulled the sales. And I've got some OG like first wave NECA stuff from like Gremlins and stuff that I got on the cheap. I got those Gremlins I bought at Suncoast for $4.99 a piece. That go for they're pretty hefty, and those are cool. Like I have different piles of stuff. I made a couple of piles. I made a pile that I dug out of stuff that I really like. I'm like, I don't want to sell this. In fact, I need to take this out of storage and find something to do with it because I forgot I kind of had it. So I have a couple items like that. Then I have like a lot of stuff that I know I'm going to sell. Like, I'm sorry, the Turbo Man, I like the movie, but whatever. I don't need it. And then I've got another pile of stuff where it's like, this is stuff I like, but I don't know if the price is worth selling it. Like I don't, because not everything I have is worth like a lot, right? Some stuff just it's just the way it goes. So I don't know. And then I have some stuff that I like it, but if the price is good enough, I'll sell it. But the price has to be good enough. So
What's the Turbo Man going for now? Because I wouldn't mind having one of those.
I mean, I don't know. I'd have to look. It was like fluctuating and stuff, right? But I mean, I can look and I could shoot you that stuff if you want. It's mint.
Do you
It's
never take it out of the box?
It's never been taken out of the box. The box is
Really?
absolutely mint.
Why
The
didn't you
box
take
is
it out, dude?
because it actually looks well, so I can hug it like Arnold. Oh,
Yes, and you can hold it. Oh,
yeah, yeah. No, it's mint in the box. The box is pristine, never been opened.
I'd
Same
take it
thing.
out.
Same thing with the. Well, buy it for me and take it out. And then same thing with the Talk Boy. I've got the Home Alone 2 edition Talk Boy. Never opened that one.
Weren't you
Brand new
tempted
cassette
as a
tape.
kid, dude?
No, well, I had one as a kid.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if this was the same one. You just didn't open it as a kid.
No, I had another. I had an OG one.
Okay.
Yeah, of course. I loved my talk. Dude, I wish I could open my Talk Boy and just play with it, walk around the
Do
house.
it.
Like,
Why not?
hey kids, I'm home early.
Yeah.
Hey kids, I'm home early.
I do that like every Christmas, dude. Stop. Was it? What did she say? Stop spying on me. Stop spying on me.
Yeah, stop spying on me. Still wouldn't take your stolen credit card. Yeah. Hey Silhouette, thanks so much for the donation. Still need to send my TMNT and X-Men toys. Sell them if you want. We'll see. I can't remember. Don't you have that badass Sauron, dude? So I have what do I have? I got a lot of stuff that I don't know is really retro. I just don't know if it's worth enough for me to really. But I've got a lot of the old Beetlejuice toys still in box, like
That'd be
the
cool, man.
vehicles, like the big box, the cool artwork, and his different cars and stuff like that. Toys. I got a whole lot of Terminator 2 action figures in the box. Those don't really go for a lot, but they're cool. They just don't go for a lot, so they're just kind of taking up
Are
space.
those the NECA ones that came out?
No, I'm talking about the original, the OG T2 KB toys.
Oh, okay. Did
The
you ever get the
original.
NECA ones?
I have Terminator 1 NECA.
Oh, okay. You don't have
I
the
have
Terminator
one
one.
7-inch Terminator. I might have an extra one actually. Because I found them on clearance a long time ago.
Hmm.
But yeah, I mean, I'm just kind of going through all that stuff and it's just kind of weird. But we'll see. I'll send you pictures and stuff. But I'm probably just gonna hit the online groups up and just do like because I don't want to be bothered. I don't want to like worry about the work and the stress of selling shit. So I'm just gonna hit up these like toy groups or game
Yeah,
groups.
dude. Yeah, the groups are the way to go.
Just send a picture, like here's what I got, put prices on all of them.
Yeah.
Do all that stuff. I'm not gonna dick anybody around. No, none of this whole fucking friends and family bullshit. Just fucking pay me and I'll pay whatever I gotta
Just send
pay.
them an invoice. Yeah.
But
Or
yeah,
then you might not want to do that though, I guess.
yeah, no, I'll do it clean. But by the way, I mean, if anybody Silhouette, if anybody in here wants anything, I mean, I could send everybody pictures in the Discord if somebody wants to look through my spoils. But the thing is I collect too much stuff, man, and also I feel like it's space. I feel like if I'm gonna go harder on my records and stuff, I got to get rid of one collection. I can't collect so much shit.
You see, that's why I kind of cut down way back in vinyl. Like I hardly got any vinyl now because
Did you
I
sell
can't.
or did you stop?
No, I never sell, but I just can't manage. Well, now I won't, but yeah, I can't.
So much space.
Yeah.
I'm already like I don't know what I'm gonna do, dude. I've already got them like I've already lost space, and I've got them like stacking up next to my shelf and stuff. I'm like, gosh. So I already got to get clever and figure out what I'm gonna do. But I slowed way down. But really what I want to do is I would like to remodel the room and get like a really nice big wall shelf so I can actually, properly put them all in there. But yeah, I can't. There's only so much space, and honestly, some of this stuff is gathering dust and it's great, and it'd be better off as money right now because like I said, man, I'm making this movie and that's moving along, which I'm happy to talk about that. That's really fun. That's moving along. I'm working with a producer, a line producer who's really cool and got a lot of credentials. And right now we're talking with this effects person that's going to do the makeup, and maybe their company will also take on the entire production design side of things. And it was pretty cool because they're based out of Mexico City, and they actually worked on Apocalypto, the Mel Gibson movie.
Oh
So
yeah, that's cool.
it was pretty cool. But yeah, that's moving along. It's just I haven't crunched all the numbers. So like we're getting all these quotes and we're putting the budget together. The producer's doing that. And it's just I know when that number comes down, I'm gonna need more money. So it's like, dude, between the tax man fucking me over this year and bullshit irresponsible spending of our economy's money, and the fact that I'm gonna have to cough up some more dough and figure out how to get some more of that stuff together. I just got to start selling stuff and try and get ahead of it. But and believe me, you guys probably haven't heard the last of me. I'm probably gonna like fucking shill a little bit more once I get everything sold. I'm gonna figure out how much I need. I'm probably gonna have to like put the cup out there and see what I can offer everybody because I have to get this fucking thing made. I'm gonna believe me, Riverman doesn't know it, but I'm coming for him too. I'm gonna waddle my can in front of him like penny for your thoughts. Would you like a
God.
thanks?
You owe me so much money growing up as a kid. It's not even funny.
Yeah, but you understand, this is a dream, man. I might have to come to everybody I know and be like, "Hey, can you spare a little? Can you spare a little?"
Back in
In
high
fact,
school, this motherfucker, I used to have to. He was like my girlfriend because he's like, oh, dude, I don't have any money, because he's never had a job at that point. This is when he's like 15.
yeah, well, it's
And I was
natural.
working for 2 years, and he's like, oh, can you buy me something to eat, man? Like,
I
you
don't.
motherfucker. I mean, it was all the time, dude. It was like a girlfriend.
Well, see, Todd had the disadvantage of being older than everybody, and so he was the first to have a car. He was, like he said, working a couple years before anybody else was really. So he always kind of had the leg up there. Um, Yeah, it is what it is. And I'm not saying I'm not thanking you for that, but that doesn't change the fact that it is now 2023 and I'm I'm gonna have to make a move.
I'm charging interest, baby. So it's probably ends up to be even.
No,
I'm
no,
just
no,
kidding.
no. Well, anyway, if there's anybody I'm coming at, it's my closest and oldest friends, but
Yeah,
we'll work that out. But
we'll figure it
I'm
out
looking
later.
I'm looking forward to this stuff getting on the road and making making stuff. It's really exciting meeting new people though. The people I get to talk to and stuff like that, and it's really funny because you gotta like, I really have to have my bullshit meter on because some people are just fucking bullshitters, man. Even at every level of making film, I don't care if it's an independent venture. I'm sure it's the same when you hit the big times. Half the people you talk to are talking through their ass. Like they
Hmm.
just kind of want to like ride along with what you're doing. They just want to credit, or they act like they're bigger than they are. And then I've talked. I spent 2 weeks talking to a million producers a day trying to find a good producer, and I had to weed through those people because they might sound great on the phone, they might sound good on Zoom and present themselves, but then when I look at their work and stuff, and I'm like, God dang, look at this
Did
fucking
any of
hack.
them do you know who I am? That thing? Did any of them do that?
No, the first producers I was working with accused me of being a sexist
For what?
because they were just no, because I didn't agree with their opinions because they were all women, but that just happened to be that had nothing to do with it.
How does
They
that make
were
any sense?
yeah, I had a meeting with them and I was working with one producer and she brought on another producer that I didn't even invite. She just brought her along and I was like, okay, that's fine. And then she brought like a script consultant who was also female. And they just kind of all kind of like railroaded me in this meeting. And they had just totally decided what the script was and how it should change and everything else. Is that whole thing. And they're like, "Oh, what you have here is a series. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, you need to." They were turning it more into like a Lifetime for television, like women's thing. Like, what is going on? And I just said, "No, I wasn't mean. I wasn't rude, but I was holding my ground." And anyway, after dealing with them for a few weeks, and I even tried to rewrite it just to say I tried. Like, hey, I'll try. I'll try and do a rewrite. And then I tried it, and then it wasn't as good, and my DP also agreed it wasn't as good, and so I went back to my original one, and then I sent it back to him, said, "Hey, I tried, but no, this is it." Eh,
How many poor schlubs do you think gave in to that? Because I mean, I'm sure they did that more than once if they're doing it with you. So they're
the
probably
problem
getting all the
was
guys, "Oh, you're sexist if you don't
the
put this on
problem was
Lifetime."
the person that was invited that I didn't even know existed, she was very headstrong, and the problem was that she was a creative too. So whereas the producer I was working with, she was just on the number side of thing. She wasn't like the writer. She wasn't doing also. So that's fine. But this other person, she was also a quote unquote writer and filmmaker. So she was pushing her ideas on me. And then when you get two bulls in the fucking house, and that's just what it is. And she even said, like, dude, in the first 2 minutes of talking to her, she tried pushing a screenplay of hers onto mine. Said, hey, you can use this. You can just put it in your story. I'm like, no. What's going on here? Anyway, when it didn't work out, she was talking behind my back to the DP, and then my DP, he's like, yeah, I don't know what she meant by it, but she just told me that you clearly need a man producer. I was like, what? Because I didn't like their bad. I stood my ground. Anyway, I thought it was funny because I've never been accused of being a sexist before, so I was kind of honored. I'm like, well, that's a first. But I really hate it when people like ride those chips when they make trouble where there's not. Like, no, I was working with one female producer and she was nice. She decided to bring on two other females with her. You guys all worked together. I never worked with you, and you guys all just fucking came at me trying to, and I felt attacked personally. I'm like, no, I just stood my ground is all I did. You just so happen to be female. That has nothing to do with it. But anyway, say love you. But we're going to talk about Quantum Leap. Do you like that segue? Non-existent segue. So if you guys have been longtime listeners of BTM, you guys might have heard us talking about Quantum Leap, because while it's interesting that we've never actually done a centric show on Quantum Leap ever. Have we ever done anything Quantum Leap related besides just talk about it?
Have, yeah.
Have we done podcasts on Quantum Leap?
No. I don't think we've went over the episodes. No.
It just comes up, but we never actually done like an actual Quantum Leap centric chat. So, but we talk about this a lot because this is one of the things that we bonded over when we met when we were kids. So it was the weirdest thing for a couple of teenagers to bond over a show that had been off the air for a decade. But this is like a mom's show. Nobody was watching Quantum Leap when we were in high school. I mean, but I grew up within syndication. Oh man, like I don't know. We pulled out like a fucking notebook, and we were scrapbooking. That's how gay we were. We had pictures of like cutouts of Dave Mustaine. We were bonding over making fun of Megadeth, and we were bonding over Quantum Leap. And I remember you had this like scrapbook where you had Dave Mustaine's Red Mott cut out and like a speech bubble like down in my last quarter because we had these like inside jokes
about Dave Mustaine, dude.
Because Dave Mustaine was playing casinos at the time and he was always bitching about Metallica's success. We always played off this like, oh, like he's in between sets, he's down to my last quarter, he's really just trying to turn his shit around at a slot machine. And then you turn this page to this college ruled notebook or whatever, and then Todd had like cut out Scott Bakula out of magazines. I don't know if it was like the Playgirl or what it was.
Yeah, I don't know where I got that, dude.
Because like the baked potato and his skivvies. And
anyway, he's in his underwear. I know that.
That was a Playgirl thing.
Oh, maybe that wasn't the same picture then.
I don't know, but he would bring that, and that would be on a page, and he would just write like the caption, Todd and Aaron's dad or whatever. Like, you want this guy like modeling BBDs with a fucking baked potato stuffed in there to be our dad, dude. It's so funny. Like, why? So he could fuck you?
Him and John Ritter, dude. Those were the two dads of our youth.
But for some reason we bonded over the show because I don't think I've ever talked to any kid or contemporary at the time that had even heard of Quantum Leap. It was just a show I would watch on syndication with my mom or whatever.
It was on the Sci-Fi Channel. I used to record it on the Sci-Fi Channel all the time. I loved it.
But it was awesome. So it was kind of weird that we bonded over that. I told him, it's like, yeah, I had a dream. I think I told you this. I had a dream that I was just in my house in where we're from, and it was like a Saturday, and then the doorbell rings, and I go to answer it, and it was Scott Bakula, and he had like some Oakleys on and a nice blazer, and he had his car phone, and he was like, "Excuse me, my cell phone, my car phone died. Can I use your phone?" Like, yes, Scott Bakula, and he'd come in, and he just never left. He just like just.
You want to know something that's going to sound weird? So I was probably
okay.
In middle school, I used to fantasize.
His first nocturnal emission was to Sam Beckett. That's what's.
No. I used to fantasize that I was leaping, like I was in an episode of Quantum Leap. Like I was like, um, pretending like I don't know. I was making up my own story. Like it sounds so stupid, but yeah, I used to do paper out, walk around, throw out newspapers and stuff, and I
And
used to pretend that I was in the show.
As soon as you threw that one paper that was gonna like be your mission, you like leap.
And I open it up. It's like, oh my god, it's 2056.
Did you dream?
But that'd be leaping forward. But you know what I'm saying.
Did you dream in network TV editing? Like when you fell asleep, was it the theme and you're like it's cutting you in the smoke?
Yeah, I always used to imagine like the part where I would say, "Oh boy," and then that's where it kind of brought on later. I used to talk to Aaron about like weird stuff, like what if you're like with a girl or something, and some other dude walks in, and then you say, "Oh boy," and then it cuts to black.
No, I mean it lended itself to an imagination because there's like so much you can do. I mean the obvious one we did when we were in high school was like he leaps into a guy with a big cock in his mouth. Oh boy, and as it's just fucking ejaculating, or like he's like at the wrong end of a bukkake. Oh boy, and it's like coming down his face like oh. Oh gee, Sam, Ziggy says there's a 65% chance that this is AIDS-free cum. You don't have to worry about it.
Yeah,
that's one thing they didn't tackle was the AIDS epidemic in the 80s. They should have went to like 52nd Street, New York, or whatever during the like peak early 80s and shit like that. That would have been great. Where he was just like a total swinger working on the deuce. But what do you think about the show though? If you guys have never seen Quantum Leap, you're absolutely crazy. I mean, I know there's a reboot that's on TV right now that I guess is coming back for a second season. I got no desire to watch it, but
never watched that.
The show's centered around Dr. Samuel Beckett. They create a device, the Quantum Leap Accelerator, to go back in time to set events in history right that once went wrong, which you would think would cause a lot of fucking shitstorm. You think that they're just doing all this stuff without consequence, like, oh, okay, we can just solve this. They're not even thinking about like the chain reactions of, you know what I mean, like of stuff.
Absolutely.
It's really funny. They don't even bother going into that. But and the caveat is he can only go back within his time period. He can't go back to a year that was before he was born, which works. It both paints him into a corner, but also helps him out because on one hand, it's like, oh man, I feel like they tapped their well pretty early on with stuff they could do, right? Because they were kind of going to the same decade. But if they didn't establish those rules from the get-go, you would have had problems because then people would have been asking, well, why isn't Sam just leaping into the prehistoric age? Why, and then they would have probably felt this pressure to do episodes like that where it's like we have to go back to colonial America now. And can you imagine the set, how much money it would cost to like
well, and that's what's so great about the show. It's not about where he leaps, what time, big event. It's about the characters that actually stories behind the characters.
Well, at first it was back. And when they started running out of ideas in the last season.
Yes, they did. But some of those are good though. I mean, and like the Oswald,
Lee Harvey
part
Oswald.
1 and 2, it's fantastic, and it's I love that those two. But yeah, having just a regular character, and I don't know, I find it fascinating.
I much preferred it when it was doing unique stories about individuals in a time and place and sort of in history. That was more interesting. Then when they started kind of running out of ideas, season 5 came along. Then they started tackling real life people, right? Lee Harvey Oswald. Where was Elvis Presley? Was he in season? Was he late?
Oh, that's a good question. I can't remember. I think it was later.
Those shows were interesting, but they just, I don't know. It felt like they got real stacked towards the end of the show. And then we had like Sam Beckett taking the body of a monkey, right? The space chimp and stuff like that. Yeah. It was getting adventurous, but a little bit weird. I mean, but I don't know. They always talk about how the show ended and they told the showrunner, hey, write the season 5 finale in a way that it works as both a season finale and a series finale, because we don't know if it's getting picked up. We don't know what's happening.
And it shows. I mean, the first 2 seasons were phenomenal. I mean, early season.
No, I mean they really all are good, and I'd say the first 4 are absolutely tops. Um, the I don't know if you want to talk about Key. I think the whole show's great. So it's like I feel like just riffing on whatever episodes we want. I don't know if there's like a
What
top.
are some of your favorites?
I love the episode where he goes back in time to civil rights era and there's the white woman that's engaged to the black man.
Oh yeah, that's
What
good.
I don't know what it's called. I'd have to think about it. I'm gonna try and find it. I think I took notes of that. But it was called because they would do drama really well, man. And so this episode was Black on White on Fire, and that was season 3, episode 7.
Okay.
That's awesome. Yeah, it says here this episode takes a look at one of the worst riots in American history, Watts. Sam leaps into the body of an African American medical student in Los Angeles in 1965 who's engaged to a white woman. Al and Ziggy initially think Sam has to keep Ray and Susan together in spite of the hatred and bigotry that they receive for their mixed race marriage from Ray's militant brother Lonnie and his friends and Susan's police captain father. That's an awesome episode. That whole thing, and it comes to a real dramatic head. I love that one. I think a popular favorite is The Leap Home, parts 1 and 2. They're awesome. And
Genesis is I mean, it kicks off with Genesis, the first and second one, where he flies the airplane, the Air Force
yeah, that's
base.
the first episode.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's great, man.
Well, I like the Bermuda Triangle episode.
That's cool too.
That one's very interesting too. And I like it. I love the whole series. And like I said, I liked it better when they were doing the more unique stories, just sort of set as a backdrop. But then, like I said, they had episodes where there was the radio station episode, right? That had Tim Allen's fucking home improvement wife in it. I can never forget Pat, whatever her name is, Patricia Richardson. That was a good one. But they would have like celebrities. Like, remember Chubby Checker played himself?
Oh yeah.
But I'm like, he was clearly like 35 years older. But he's like, oh, we're just gonna pretend this doesn't exist. And there was that episode too where you had the cameo by baby Michael Jackson before he's famous.
Oh yeah.
All
that
right,
was cool.
Nice talking to you, mister. And he starts
like the very end of the episode, I think. Yeah.
And he just moonwalks out of and then I think he like leaves, maybe. I don't remember. But I don't know. There's just something magical about the show. Like you said, it was easy to fantasize and be like, man, I want to be Sam Beckett. And I know maybe it would become a lonesome life or whatever, but I don't think so. That'd be awesome. And to go to keep just leaping into these new worlds. I mean, I would just be constantly scared I was going to like leap into a dick in my mouth. I mean, like Sam didn't have to worry about that because he knew he was on NBC. But I would be constantly scared of that stuff because, like they said in the title, he was always hoping that the next leap would be the one that took him home. But like, what if he didn't make it? What if he died? The whole concept that he leaps into somebody's body and their body swaps with Sam back in like Futureland with Ziggy and all that stuff. Another cool episode is the episode where they switch. I think it's a pretty late one, probably like season 4 or something, where Al has to go to World War II and he has to like reunite the guy with the wife, and then Sam takes his place. Hologram. And we get to see Sam in the Ziggy place.
Yeah.
At the base. And that's the first time we really get to see what Al sees all the time. And it's interesting. And I'm pretty sure that's the episode where he sees his wife, right?
Yep.
And he's like, how can I forget you? You're my wife. Because his brain is Swiss cheesed. That used to confuse me so much when I was like a little kid. Because I'm like, wait a second. He's got a wife. He's nailing all these broads across time. But he just gets a hall pass because, my brain is Swiss cheesed. But you would think, that's what I would say too. You think, oh, sorry, baby. My brain was Swiss cheese when I had that orgy back in 1962. But you think Al being the constant you think that would keep his brain spry enough? I would think. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't know. I don't know, but I just always like the idea of that. As long as I could come home, I guess it will be so much fun to go through time putting right what's what went wrong.
And a lot of people bring this one up, but very interesting. The Jimmy episode where he leaps into the Melly Challenge kid. Very cool.
Multiple times.
Yeah.
Jimmy was a huge hit.
Yeah.
We couldn't just have one episode of Jimmy. He had to keep coming back.
But I thought that was very unique and very very good.
And it's a bit of a meme now, right? The whole I'm retarded. And he looks in the wing. He looks in the mirror in the door.
Yeah.
He's got like I think it's like a Bullwinkle shirt
Yeah,
or
Bullwinkle.
whatever
Yeah.
it is. And yeah, I don't know. It gets a little loose in its storytelling. And it's funny to hear that interview on the soundtrack because Todd bought the soundtrack back in the day, I think at a CD warehouse,
Yeah.
which is fantastic. And it's just got selections from the whole series re-recorded. You got the Al ABC rap, and you got all the selections that Sam Beckett sang throughout the show, but newly recorded, like his cover of Imagine from The Leap Home, which is fantastic. I'll listen to Sam Beckett's Imagine over John Lennon's any day. It cannot be topped. And of course, he had new originals like Somewhere in the Night, which
Oh, it's fantastic.
it's really cheesy. It's really
What
terrible. It's
can you
like
sing? Can you sing it for us, Aaron?
I'm sick. It's like bootleg Richard Marx, dude.
That's why I love it so much.
I just love it. I just love the lyrics where he's like, who would answer your prayers, who would wait by the stairs. Like, where the fuck did the stairs come in?
Not
Like he just
me.
couldn't. Nah, he just I don't know. It just seemed like such a shoehorn rhyme, but I love that soundtrack. And there's a track at the end of it where it's just an interview with Scott Bakula, and he was talking about like what could have been, like what their plans were had they not got canceled. He's like, yeah, it's like we were already talking about these crazy ideas about where we could have went, and there was talks about me leaping into a baby, and I'm like, God dang, like I don't know, I don't
That's what. Yeah.
I don't know if I wanted to see it jump in the shark, right? I would have rather them came up with some kind of like excuse. Hey Sam, we did some technology tweaks, and now you can go back further. Okay, and that would shake things up because it'd be fun. It would kind of be fun to see like Sam Beckett in Civil War time or
Mm-hmm.
colonial time. I don't want to see him walking around the loin. I mean, maybe you do a loincloth in the prehistoric days, but but yeah, I don't know. They were talking about him being a baby, and I just don't know how that works. Like I said, he was already a monkey going to space.
Was the episode you mentioned with The Color of Truth? Is that where he leaps into the African American guy? It's kind of like driving Miss Daisy, where he drives the
That
old lady around.
Yeah, he does that. He does that one too. He no, yeah. There was a couple of civil rights episodes. There was a few of those. But yeah, I know the one you're talking about. That's really I really
Changes
like
history
Glitter.
for the better. I love that part.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, it had nothing to do with Martin Luther King or Abe Lincoln or whatever. Sam Beckett had to come along, and I like the Glitter Rock episode with King Thunder. It's
That's a great
fantastic.
song. I still listen to that song.
Yeah, that's a great episode. I like the episode with he's in drag. What's the one where he plays the woman? It's really cool when he's been women.
Oh yeah, because all the guys are coming on to him.
Oh yeah, MIA in the season 2 finale. Sam leaps into the body. Jake Rawlings. Oh, that's a different one. Hold on. Jake Rawlings, a new detective in San Diego in '69. Alan Ziggy tells Sam he has to stop a young woman, Beth, from falling for another man while her husband is missing in action in Vietnam, presumed dead, but in fact the prisoner war camp. Sam, hold on. Wait, that's not it. Why are they
The,
showing him in drag? I don't get that.
the Vietnam
But
episodes are great.
well, that's the way home. That's the
Yeah.
lead back. That's part 2. Those are maybe some of the best episodes because in part 1 he goes to the farm, and that's when he's like telling his sister that. Why is he gonna tell his sister that John Lennon dies? I have no fucking idea. Like, why is he like making excuses now? Because she's all obsessed with the Beatles, and then he's playing. I'm gonna play my favorite song. And he starts playing Imagine, and then he's gonna tell her that John Lennon's gonna die. I don't know why. Like, what's the point? And even now it's like, Sam, don't. Like, is it really that big of a fucking deal? I mean, I get it. John Lennon getting killed is sad, but they act like it's. I don't know.
Well, how are you gonna prevent it?
Yeah, why
Like,
did they leave the fucking why did they stop fucking Chapman for shooting him?
yeah, I don't know.
You know what I mean? Like there's so many I wish it would have been cool if they could have like tweaked it instead of becoming babies, instead of becoming monkeys, and instead of becoming like special needs people. They should have like wrote into the story that we can tweak it and we can actually pinpoint and direct where you're leaping a little bit better. And that would have been really cool to see like an episode where they prevent John Lennon's death or something like that. If we're gonna do the Lee Harvey Oswald stuff anyway, I just feel like there's a lot of stuff they could have changed. There was that one episode with the TV station with that knockoff Jay Leno guy, right? Where he like fell in love with that one chick and he was fucking her to Foreigner.
Oh yeah, yes,
I
yes, I
wanna
remember
know
that.
what love
Oh
is.
god,
Yeah.
I love that song.
I love it's like a slow love making scene where she's just like getting ravaged by Sam Beckett by Scott Bakula, the
Oh, and
Asian woman.
he's every mom's fantasy. Like my mom loves Scott Bakula, my grandma. I used to watch that with them too. So yeah.
I was Scott Bakula, he was evergreen for a while until I saw a couple years ago or like a year ago he did Bob Saget's podcast and Bob Saget RIP obviously. But this is like
Mhm.
about a year ago. And I watched him on a video podcast with Bob Saget. I'm like, "Oh, Bakula's finally gotten old. He still looks like Bakula, but now he's gotten old man skinny. Like he's kind
Yeah.
of getting old man skinny. His cheeks are getting sunken in. You see like his wrinkly neck, and I'm like, oh man, that's too bad. And that depresses me too. I mean, I know everybody gets old. That's everybody's right. They've earned it. But it makes me sad when I see people finally like turning that curve, that I grew up with and stuff, because I know I'm next up to bat, man. One of these days, you're gonna be watching the stream in hopefully like 50 years, and you'll be like, God, Aaron finally got old man old. We'll be sitting here in front of our collections, you know.
I just picked up this VHS.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, how's your hemorrhoid, Todd? Pop it. GZDR Forever. I never got into the Quantum Leap show, but I did watch Sliders, and based on
Sliders is good
reviews,
too.
it was essentially the same thing. Was Sliders the same thing?
Yeah, kind of. I don't know.
You know what show is also kind of similar too? Remember that show First Edition?
No, I don't remember that one.
It wasn't on very long, maybe like a couple of seasons. But basically, this guy, he got like the newspaper before anybody else that predicted the future.
Oh,
and
yes, I remember this. Okay.
He had like only so much time to prevent that headline from actually coming to fruition. It's kind of like Quantum Leap, right?
That's such a cool idea too. I mean,
he gets the magical first edition that tells him what's going to happen, but it's like Quantum Leap, right? He's got to change the feature. And I don't remember. I just remember Sliders had Jerry O'Connell, right? Isn't that right?
yes, yes.
Yeah, I don't remember much about it.
I remember watching it in the 90s. Me and my brother got really big into it, but I was still a Quantum Leap guy, so
yeah,
I was always all about that. Just the chemistry between Sam Beckett and Al is just, I mean, it's fantastic.
Everything about it, like it was so easy to put yourself in that place where it's like, well, I don't know who it's better to be, because part of you is like, man, it wouldn't be so great to be Al, where he kind of gets a foot in that world, but he doesn't have to live there and be stuck there. Like he can actually see it. I mean, I think Al had the best vantage point. He could hear like the car going through him. He gets to be there without being there. But
well, Al is kind of the devil on Sam's shoulder. He's the playboy and the bad boy.
Doing like the changing room and shit and watching the girls change.
And Sam was not all about that. So their banter back and forth just made it so funny, man.
Yeah, and Sam was such a moral angel, except for the fact that he cheated on his wife all the time. But hey,
exactly.
Swiss cheese brain,
Well, I'm sure his wife wouldn't care if he came back in one piece.
I think he kind of gets a pass because it's like he doesn't know if he's ever coming home again.
Yeah.
I mean, better to say you're sorry than ask for permission. Like when you come back, like, hey,
she just got to watch him in the chamber or whatever she sits in.
He got his, but I don't know, but yeah, so it's a bummer to watch people get older, but I always wanted to meet Scott Bakula, and I always thought, like, man, he'd be the coolest celebrity to meet. Like, I don't give a shit about Tom Cruise or all these people. I don't. But Scott Bakula, dude, I would like. I almost said drop to my knees, but I meant like, but that sounded like I was gonna suck his dick.
We've talked about this before. If he came to a convention, I would fly out anywhere in the United States that's reasonable, and I would go to the convention just to get his autograph.
It almost felt like there was a moment, like I feel like some of these big conventions, like your big pop culture ones now that we get, where Michael J. Fox always goes to, and the Doctor Who, I feel like Sam Beckett could do these. Yeah. I feel like I could easily, and I don't know why he doesn't. I mean, maybe it's just not for him. Maybe his agent just hasn't told him about him. Maybe he has no interest, but I absolutely love it. And it'd be so weird to go to a straight up Quantum Leap convention, because they've had those a time or two in the past, more rare.
I'd love that. That'd be so funny, dude.
Can you imagine? But that would be so centric and so weird to go in this like little building with like all these fucking obsessed Quantum Leap people, dude. Like just that knows everything about Quantum Leap. Like, oh yeah, that would be so weird. I would feel like I don't know. I'd feel like and we're all sitting there just like swooning as like Sam Beckett plays Imagine for us on stage because I think he'll like play for him and stuff like that. And now Dean Stockwell's dead, so you can't really get the full experience there. But
I love this. I'm going to share my screen real quick, but
okay,
I loved this window. Okay, there we go. Oh, hold on real quick. Don't share it.
that's like porn on there.
Hold on. No, this is my favorite right here. All right, you could share it. Dude, isn't that awesome? I want to get like an 8x10 of this sign, dude. Wouldn't that be killer?
Yeah, it would be great. I'd like the King Thunder. That'd be pretty cool.
King Thunder would be awesome too.
Him singing on the mic would be pretty rad.
And he, God, if we went to a convention and he sang Somewhere in the Night, dude, I don't know, man. I would lose it all. I'd be crying like a baby, dude.
You'd bring in a little blanket to jack off underneath.
Probably.
That's so funny. Scott Bakula, we tried not pranking. I tried calling the office of Brad Bakula, his brother in Kansas City. He's got a law firm, and I tried calling one time with Zach, and I just kind of got the office voicemail with his his voice on there. Hi, you've reached the office of Brad Bakula, and I just want to like call him and be like, hey man, can we talk about your brother for a second? Like, what do you think? What do you think about your brother, Brad?
He's like, I haven't talked to that guy in 20 fucking years.
He fucked my wife. Oh, let's tell us more. Nah, Scott Bakula is married to Chelsea Fields. She played Virginia Slim in Harley Davidson and the Marlboro Man.
Yep.
Let's blow off some steam, cowboy. Right? Fuck, grab Don Johnson's fucking hog. But I don't know. But he's a great guy, as if I know him. I just love the show. Is there any other choice? Find King Thunder for us. Pull that up.
All right, stop sharing for a second.
Geezer, why does he look like Jamie Lee Curtis from Trading Places?
He does. Picture? He looks exactly like her.
Yeah, he's hotter.
He is. I agree.
Hag.
I agree.
Hotter than that hag. We live in a time where Jamie Lee Curtis wins an Academy Award for acting.
Yeah, after she was in the new Halloween movie, and she was completely awful.
Yeah.
His name's King Thunder in the show.
The band was King Thunder. You had a band called King Thunder. It was basically a Kiss knockoff. Dude.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah,
Glitter Rock. The episode's called Glitter Rock.
Oh, okay. I'll search for that then.
Yeah, it's a great episode.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah, I've been wanting to watch the show. I'm gonna introduce the girlfriend into it. See if
why didn't you get the Blu-ray that was on sale?
Is it not on sale anymore?
I don't know if it is.
I'm trying to sell stuff, Todd. Like I'm trying to get rid of stuff.
Well, why would you sell this?
Isn't it streaming?
I don't know. I like physical copies of TV shows because I can never keep track.
You can't keep track of the apps that remember where you left off?
No, plus I don't know. There's something about having the physical copy, even for TV shows. I like that.
Is that the one you have? Do you have the one that?
What the heck? Why is it doing this again? Let me pull it up again. There we go.
There you go. I saw it. Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
That's pretty
fucking
awesome.
Metal. Looks like Ziggy Stardust, dude.
Yeah. he does look awesome, man. No, this is the I don't know. I just like they have all their individual cases.
Will you show it off? Will you show it off and sell me on it here? Show it off. Okay,
so it's the cardboard, the outside cardboard is not the greatest. I have some dings because it's older. I've had this for like 3 years, 4 years. It has all 5 seasons, all separate cases.
Different covers. Let me see it. Pull them out. How many discs are on each season? Yeah, dude. Geezer, it looks like the Ultimate Warrior WWF. Yeah, it looks like Ultimate Warrior and ZZ Top fucked. No, not ZZ Top. Ultimate Warrior and Ziggy Stardust. Well,
these aren't great. Watched. I mean, they're not. It's Mill Creek, so it's pretty standard for what they put out.
So how many discs per? Well, that's a short. There's only like 9 episodes in that one.
Yeah. So this one's probably one disc. No, it's 2
Because
disc. It's 2 disc.
For season 1,
Yeah.
they couldn't put every episode on one Blu-ray.
Genesis Part 1, 2, Star-Crossed, The Right Hand of God is on disc 1, and then disc 2 is 1, 2, 3, 5 episodes. So yeah, 5 episodes on both.
What about the season 2 onward? How many discs are in season 2?
Season 2. Oh, they stacked them. Yeah, that's right. They stacked one on top of the other.
Hold on.
They don't have a flipper, dude. It's stacked.
Yeah, you're not selling me, Todd.
For $28 though, man. It looks great, but yeah,
how many,
I don't know.
So like 4 discs on those?
Yeah, 4 discs on this one.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's probably streaming on Peacock, right?
I don't know. I have no idea. I don't need to know because I have a physical copy of it. I don't know if they have all the episodes. That's the whole thing. Like some of these shows, like we were just talking, Are You Afraid of the Dark or Slit Your Shorts? I mean, they don't have all the episodes on there, so who knows? But I watched the first 2 seasons on these, and they look good. So,
so you haven't watched the whole thing?
No, I haven't watched the whole thing yet.
Let me see if I can show you guys something.
But for that price, I mean, that's pretty good. I mean, that's how many disc total is that? $18 discs, 17?
I don't know. But anyway, there's the famous Jimmy with the Bullwinkle shirt. Fantastic. Yeah. So Geezer is probably uncompressed audio, multiple languages, 1080p, 60 frames. Yeah, because there was another box set they had before that, right? That was a little bit more robust. It had a better case. It had more discs, and I don't really know what the differences are. So I don't know.
That's the UK. That's the UK. That's not.
Are you sure we never got that?
No, there's only Mill Creek owns the right to that. The other ones are the DVDs. Remember the DVDs that came out? The really nice, like packaged DVDs, but they were like digibooks.
Yeah,
those were.
I don't know. Nice. I think if they're on streaming, I've never really had a huge. I've always been tempted to get them on physical media, but just they've always been streaming because like since streaming's been around somewhere. So I don't know. I'm trying to get rid of stuff. Like I have. Blu-ray is one thing, dude. I got so many DVD sets I gotta get rid of, dude. Like, I own like every season of The Simpsons that matters. But why? Now it's like they're so easily watchable on Disney Plus, and I have Disney Plus. Unfortunately, like I got people that watch it, and those things are just weighing down my shelf. I've got every season of Seinfeld. Why? That is always going to be available on a streamer. Someone's always going to have Seinfeld.
I just do it my favorite television shows. Of course, MASH. I got Wonder Years. Just stuff that
Blu-rays or DVD.
DVDs. So
yeah, I don't have any desire to watch DVD stuff anymore because it's like it's always going to be available. So it just takes up so much. These big hefty box sets. Do like
I love
how many a season of Seinfeld? It's like how many fucking discs? I'm just so over it. I'm just over like flipping discs and stuff like that. And but I had a lot of good times with them, man. I remember when I first got all those DVDs of Seinfeld, and I would lay in bed in my room and just I loved it, dude. It was like it was so wild for me to watch the series on DVD and have the menu and then actually flip it every few episodes and go to a new disc and fall asleep to the menu.
Oh yeah.
It's shit would be my dreams.
This is great about it, man. I love Mac's comment, by the way.
Is that Aaron when he shaves? Oh God, Jimmy. Geezer, I'm trying to lay in bed with his meat in his hand. Yeah. Yeah, while I'm watching like yeah, never mind. Geezer, I'm trying to rebuy my martial arts collection on Blu-ray. Super hard to find. Well, easy to find, but a lot of the companies do lazy transfers.
That's tough, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Like I'll be really particular about stuff that I get rid of. But yeah, I'm just trying to own less. And if I'm gonna get rid of like if I get rid of a lot of the games, I think that's just like one step of me going full digital on games too. Like, what's the point of owning physical games if I'm gonna get rid of some of my old collection of the stuff that I might as well just go digital, go all in.
I'm not
I don't
going
need the
all
collection.
digital. There's a few games that I like physical copies of, but the rest I go digital though.
Yeah. Anyway, what are you looking up there? What am I? Oh God! Well, he's over here just like standing over Scott Bakula. Why? Look up the
Well,
Playgirl.
Scott,
Look up
well,
the Playgirl spreads, dude.
whoops. Here, okay. Let me look up. No, I'm not gonna look up a spread, dude. That's gross. But
Oh,
I'll show you
it's
the.
not nude. It's just
Oh,
like
okay.
in his like on. No, yeah, these celebrities never got naked for those, dude. The spread, dude, like his ass spreading his asshole open. like what they said Michael Jackson would do for those little boys in that Leaving Neverland documentary. He's like, yeah, they'd make them spread their booty cheeks open, whatever. He would jerk and just masturbate while they're holding their buttholes open. Little boys, dude. Gross.
Jesus. Hold on, I'm looking up
Max
image right
Max
now.
baked and he should be in bed.
That's always fun. This is the one I think this was like one of the main photos for the shoot.
Get a good shot of that hamburger meat chest. Where is it?
Hold on. Read a
you have a
comment.
fucking
Read
folder.
it. Read a
You
comment.
have a folder on your PC. He's trying to like play dumb. Like he has to search online for this. He's like, I got to make it look like I don't have this stuff already on demand.
Read a comment or two. Hold on. I'm gonna pull a few of these.
Max high in bed. He's baked, touching himself.
Oh God, we don't need to know that.
No, that's not what he said.
Oh,
You know
okay.
that.
You know that. Oh, okay. So here is. Okay.
Do you got it or not?
Oh, shit. Yes, I got it.
Todd's looking up some like fucking questionable material.
Okay, here we go.
There you go. Yeah. Okay. So our boy did play go. You want that 1995 Man of the Year right there.
Delivers more of what you're looking for.
Playgirl, inside scoop. Read the unauthorized biography that's making Whitney Houston sing the blues. Where's the Leap into Love with film star Scott Bakula? Wait, film star? He was TV star. I know that he was in
Lord of Illusion.
Lord of Illusions, but
yeah,
we all know that wasn't like fantastic. I thought you were gonna look at the
I got it.
Okay, go ahead. Oh, he's got it on his desktop. I fucking knew it. I'm surprised it's not his wallpaper.
Let me pull it up. I had a corrupt file there.
Can you?
The file was stuck together.
Can you imagine, like, if you were doing something with work and they saw, like, your computer like that, and but it was a holdover from this podcast, and you had to explain it? Fucking Scott Bakula leaning there in his BVDs, dude. Okay. Yeah, this is the classic image that I think Todd used to have cut out. He's freaking ridiculous, man. I keep looking to see if he's got a little pea spot. Like he didn't shake very well on a little pea spot. You ever get that on your BVDs, dude? But yeah. So I think Todd used to literally just have this on his wall, right? Didn't you used to have this like?
No, that's why I posted in the book, our book.
Oh,
remember?
He was on our scrapbook.
Our scrapbook, yeah.
That was our vision board. Like that's what vision boards were back then. But anyway, not really else I want to talk about. I just wanted to go down memory lane talking about Quantum Leap. Was there anything else you wanted to discuss? Scott Bakula wanted to be a musician first. He's been on record. He's like, I wanted to be a singer. Obviously, it's evident with how much he showed off his talent in the show. But he started doing theater and he fell into the acting thing. But But yeah, he wanted to be like the next Richard Marx, basically.
We can kind of talk about, so there was some rumblings back when we were in high school. I want to say this is probably 2003, 2002, that they were going to
The
come out with
movie?
the Quantum Leap movie. And every time we heard it'd be like, oh, it's going to be next year. Never came out. So we got out of high school. Then I heard about 3 or 4 years ago they're still talking about coming out with the movie. I'm like, at this point, don't throw a movie
Al's
at us.
dead, and
Yeah.
and Sam is old. I mean,
But yeah, this was before Al was dead too. I mean, Dean Stockwell. I mean, but they were all too old, man, at that point. So
and when the new series came out last year, they were asking Sam, Scott, about being on the show, like making an appearance, and I think he was saying, of course, they approached him, but he's like, no, but maybe down the line, like basically once it proves itself, if this thing's a hit and it's on and everything else, like maybe, but I don't think he was. I think he was trepidatious about signing on to a show that wasn't proven to be a hit and filming and tarnishing the legacy and coming on it.
they can't touch it now. The Dean Stockwell's dead. I don't want him to mess with it.
I mean, I don't know how they do it besides like them running into each other, like in a leap, like in the same leap. But I am very interested to see what, of course, in my mind, in my fanfic mind, Sam Beckett is out there right now. Like maybe he's in my time. Maybe Sam Beckett is my dog, fucking trying to stop me from eating something I shouldn't eat. I don't know. Maybe God, there's a few moments in my life where I wish Sam Beckett would have leapt into my world and stopped a few things from happening to me. Like, don't make that decision. Don't do that. Like, thanks, Sam. And I just want to see him give me a thumbs up, and I see him leap. Of course, you wouldn't see it. I wouldn't see him leap. Like, what does it happen? Like, whenever he leaps. So, like, whenever he leaps and he's smiling or giving a thumbs up and it leaps. So, in real time, all of a sudden, the other guy's come back into his body. He's like, what the fuck?
I don't know. I love that intro though. I mean, with the song and everything, and the way he leaps.
Greatest intro of all time. Super well edited. The song is amazing, and also what a brilliant idea to tease next week's episode. Him leaping into the next episode.
Yeah,
awesome. I mean, it's so great, right? You get that sneak peek. It's like R.L. Stine. R.L. Stine copped it, and he's like, I'm going to do this in Goosebumps books. I'm going to give everybody the first 10 pages of my next Goosebumps book.
Yep. But and then he throws the old boy in there, and then you're like, oh, because you're just waiting for him to say it because the show's over.
Oh boy.
But yeah, it's fantastic.
Well, let's end it on your favorite oh boy. Do you have a favorite oh boy?
Wasn't there an oy vey? I'm a rabbi. That one.
That's that's like the best case scenario. Like, I would not be like, that's great. You're still not a guy with a dick in his ass. I'd be a rabbi. You're pretty safe.
Let me see. Rabbi, oh boy. What episode was that? I just looked this up and TikTok comes up. Which episode of Quantum Leap had you saying oh boy? All of them. All of them.
I just always remember it differently in my head, like, because like I hear him saying like Jimmy, like, I'm retarded. I just imagine every episode he's like, I'm a monkey. Oh boy, I'm a whatever. But yeah, I don't know.
Thou shall not is the name of the episode. So yeah.
Okay. I don't think I have a favorite oh boy.
I love all boy, I'm a rabbi.
I don't get it. Like, why is that so like, no? Is he like, oh God, now I'm Jewish. I've seen it all. My world is over. Like, I would think that he's I mean, honestly, I'd be more scared if I was like leapt into a black person back in the civil rights times, dude, getting lynched and shit like that. Like a rabbi, I think you're all right.
You can make it up as you go as a rabbi,
What if he leapt into a priest that was fucking kids? That would actually been a good episode where he leapt into a priest in a priesthood and he had to stop a bad priest that was doing some shit. like, and he had to get to the bottom of it. That's legit a great episode. But this show was on before the whole big priest exposure and all that stuff. Before that was like a big headline.
But the thing is, this show should have never ended because there's so many ideas. You can come up with anything and make it a Quantum Leap episode.
I just did. I just came up with an awesome episode.
Yeah.
Like, he leaps into a priesthood, and Sam, you're here because you have to stop. There's a bad priest. He's fucking the choir boys, and somebody like, oh, can you imagine that big showdown where he catches him with a little boy, dude? And he joins him. No, I'm just kidding. No, he fucks him up. Like,
can you imagine him leaping into two good-looking podcasters that are on the internet and they talk about horror movies and other movies? Like, I mean, I'd love to watch
Sam,
that.
Why am I here, Al? Like, Sam, you got to stop these losers from ruining their life. You got to, like, on the first day of the pod, let's start a podcast.
We got to get 10,000 followers before you can leap home.
He's like me. He's like, Al, I'm sleeping on a fucking twin mattress on the floor. I know, Sam. You got to tell these guys. Don't do Red Rocket's his name. Just tell him to say no. Doesn't want to be involved. Can you imagine? sleeping on a fucking twin mattress on the floor, dude, with some fucking crusty socks around him. Al, where the fuck am I?
You gotta kick Lush out. You gotta get him out because he's gonna ruin the show.
Like, all right. I just told like, I just asked Lush if he wanted to do a short film. We'd help him. Oh, Sam, a 98% chance you just caused him to steal your money and fucking fuck you over. And it says here, oh no, what on the night of Todd's funeral, he sucks a dick. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding. Like, I'm okay with this. Like, this doesn't bother me at all. You can do it. I don't know, dude. It would be funny to plant Sam Beckett in my own life. Is there anything? Okay, let's end on that because that's a fun topic. Yeah, why am I talking like Adam Sandler? Is there a moment in your life? It could be silly, serious, or whatever that you would seriously like if you could have like a free Sam Beckett card. Like, okay, Sam Beckett, do your thing. I'll go hang out with Ziggy. Could you replace me to change this in my life? This moment
in my life?
Yeah. You get a Sam Beckett card, and he gets to leap into you in whatever time you want to put right what once went wrong that you think should have went differently.
Oh my God, you got to put me on the spot with this.
And you got to hang out with Ziggy and Al, and Ziggy's got to tell you like why you're there and shit like that. And, I always wanted to see more of that. Like, remember when like you remember like the Evil Leaper?
Yes, Evil. Yeah.
What a fucking wild episode. But anyway, they should have like. That was kind of dark, actually. Like, they could have went some places with the Evil Leaper. But anyway,
the Evil Leaper, the Dracula, they had a lot of weird.
Yeah, Dracula's cool. Yeah. So what are you choosing him to leap and put right when it's what went wrong?
I'd probably go back and tell my younger self not to go to college.
That's good. Because you didn't use it.
Well,
student debt. Videography and stuff.
Student debt is the reason I would say not to go to college.
But did it actually lead you to what you're doing now in any way?
Yes, it did.
It did?
It did, but the way I got my first gig, I didn't need to have it, if that makes sense. Like, I kind of fell into it because I had friends that had that gig, and I could have kind of snuck my way through without going to college.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't know how long I was going to be at that job either, so that helped me out. But I don't know. It'd probably be that.
Okay. That's a good one. I'm trying to think of one. I've got some serious ones, but like, I don't know. There's a lot, dude. Like, a lot. I'm trying to think of one that's funny and lighthearted, because I got a lot of serious ones that I would do. I don't know. It's pretty funny about the podcast that you mentioned. That was pretty funny to stop us from doing that. I don't know. I could have used Sam Beckett to help me not get fucking robbed in Beijing this one time. That would have been pretty nice.
Yeah.
Like, so Sam, like, yeah, just whatever. Sam jump on my body. It's not even that hard. Just Sam fucking. Why are they always so complex? Like, if you would have jumped into this like scene I'm talking about, all Al would have been like, Sam, all you have to do is just not go down that alleyway. Yeah, you're meeting a friend for dinner. Just go that way. Okay.
And you leap.
And you leap.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you go down that way, you're gonna get fucking robbed. Oh, okay, fair enough. but they're always so intricate, right? They're always like
Mhm.
so many different moving pieces to it. Like, oh, why can't they just? You would think the rule of like butterfly effect logic, Sam wouldn't have had to have done all the crazy shit he had to do to really change, because he would always think he changed it. Be like, oh, why haven't I leaped yet? Oh, Sam, now there's a chance that this, and it always get like worse. But like, I would think like, even if his goal was, oh, Sam, you got to reunite this person with his long lost whatever, you would think like him taking an extra shit that day would change time. Like,
Yeah.
okay, I just did it. Like, oh, well, guess what? All you have to do is like, we have to keep him from going here, Sam, because he's gonna die. Okay, well, all he has to do is go fart in a cop's face, and he spends the night in county lockup, and then he never goes where he has to go again. I mean, I just don't understand. Like, there's just like so many things you could do.
There is,
Anyway,
man. I mean, anything would change history, so you wouldn't have to do anything. I mean, you can be in that moment for maybe seconds, and everything would change.
I want to see a series that shows the aftermath of of
All the
Sam
stuff he
Beckett.
screwed up, dude. Oh
Yeah,
yeah, that'd be awesome.
because it's like, yeah, he's putting all this shit right, but dude, like, you never know. I mean, like, maybe when he saved the monkey from going to outer space and getting killed from those like the space monkeys, maybe like a new Hitler was born.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Maybe somebody that was working on that monkey project that got shut down, that didn't get that job, ended up meeting somebody he never would have met otherwise, and then he fucked that person, and they had a kid that turned out to be Hitler, like Hitler 2. Like, I mean, just all this random shit, dude. I don't know. What the
that'd be
fuck are you
cool.
talking about? Oh, go ahead.
We'd have an evil leaper instead. We can just do quantum evil leap, and then we can just have, like you were saying, we can have them like screwing everything up, just to mess up history as much as you can. Like instead of Sam being like this caring, like good looking guy, he's just a sleazeball dude who
Yeah,
like says every.
it's just
It's,
Mac. It's
yeah,
just Mac leaping through time, like fucking everything that moves and ruining everybody's life. Having kids throughout time, dude.
that'd be
Mac
crazy. I don't know
Mac's
how
like,
that
what
would
the fuck are
work.
you talking about? Oh, his retard friend. Kidding, not that word. Yeah, don't say that. Anyway, all right. I mean, I kind of feel like we're just finding our stride now, talking about all this weird, like, what if isms. That's actually the fun stuff, but we're gonna wrap it up. We're just shooting the breeze, talking about Quantum Leap as you do. But yeah, maybe next week, like I said, we'll change it up and we'll get Zach on, or we'll see. Is there any other tier list we can do? I know you want Josh on for Friday. What else could we do?
Um,
I would do Hellraiser if you guys are up to the challenge, but that you got to watch a lot of bullshit. You got to watch a lot of bullshit.
what other franchise can we
There
do?
has to be enough. A Leprechaun. I would do fucking Leprechaun tier list. I would. But you have to know the franchise too. That's the thing.
I mean, I've seen Leprechaun. I haven't watched it in a long time, but
Well, we'll throw some other series at me. Because I don't know, like Friday 13th is going to be interesting because, like, I'm not a huge Friday 13th fan. Like, none of the movies are going to be like S tier for me, right? It's just I feel like the Friday
that's
13th
crazy.
series, but you and like Zach will keep it interesting.
Yeah.
For me, though, I think it's a very consistent franchise. Whereas, like, I think, like, I've always said I think it's way more consistent than Halloween, but it never reaches the highs as the best Halloween movies, if that makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah.
So it's like there's going to be a lot of like middling scores for me with some of those movies, and there's going to be some bad ones, obviously. But what other franchises could we do?
I mean, we could do Evil Dead. We can do.
There's not enough Evil Dead though.
Oh yeah, there's like 4.
And
Okay, you said
I had that
Hellraiser.
idea, but I would wait till the new one comes out because then we would at least have 5 in a series, right? That might work, but let's wait for the new episode. The new
Let's.
movie.
Okay, I got it.
What do you got?
Have we done this yet? We'll do the Psycho.
Oh, all 4 of them?
All 4 Psycho, and then we can just throw the remake in there if you want.
But there's not that many of them. I feel like we got to do something more. I mean, there's also Bates Motel too, but it's got to be more robust, man.
You want more robust? Okay.
Yeah, we got to have robust. It's a tier list, man. It's got to like be worthy of it. That's why I said Leprechaun's got a lot of movies, man. Leprechaun's got like Uh,
A bunch of movies I don't have time or want to watch in a week. That's probably it.
it's got 7. That's enough to justify a tier list. I just don't think 4 cuts it. And plus, it's more interesting when you have like a Nightmare on Elm Street or like these kind of franchises that are all over the place, right? Because like there's no Psycho movie that's just absolutely terrible, right? They're gonna be like they're gonna rank from amazing to decent. That's not very
Okay.
exciting.
Okay, I got an idea. Okay, so not next week, but in 2 weeks, let's do the Omen series. I'll go through all those here in a week and a half, and then we can tier list Omen
I mean, we
movies
could
if
do
you
that,
want.
but once again, there's not that many Omen, but there's 4 plus the remake, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we could talk about them. I'll still talk about them.
Paranormal Activity movies. I mean,
Oh, I mean, I'm not against it. I'm not against the Omen or whatever. We could talk about it. I recently watched the first 2, so those are pretty fresh. I have to watch part 3, unfortunately, and then
have
I
we
gotta
done
watch.
Halloween yet? We've done Halloween.
No,
to
we've never
death,
done
right?
Halloween, but Halloween's old hat.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Yeah.
just I'm fucking tired about Halloween. I mean, that would be interesting to talk about because once again,
Oh, we
that
should
one's
do the
all.
Scream franchise.
Yeah, why don't we do the Scream franchise?
Let's do that next week.
Okay, we'll do
That's
Scream.
That's easy because
Now that we've talked about the new one. Okay, we'll do that. And like I said, be on the lookout for our new episode with Zach, myself, and Mac, Cinema Anima, where we talk about Scream 6. And we'll catch you guys for next week. I guess we're going to do a Scream tier list. Bye.